Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon on YouTube, and then I post it up to Facebook. I'm going to do the same thing with this one too. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy, your city, psychology today will pop up, click on that, and it will have qualified therapists in your area. Also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other damn therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka done. Okay. All right, so I wanted to get to some questions. I was wondering if you could do a video on how to interact with narcissistic parents. So I've done several videos on interacting with narcissistic parents, but I'm going to answer this question. I feel like I can't talk to them without lying because that lying keeps me safe. I don't like the lies, but then they try to catch me in my own words. Thank you for your work. How do I deal with this? Okay. When you are dealing with abusers, you cannot tell them the truth. You can't, because they'll use it against you. So say, for example, you're doing something that's good for you and exciting and fun, and you're excited, right? They'll do whatever they can to sabotage that. They'll start criticizing it, or they'll put it down, or they'll do something so that, like, say, for example, you have a job interview coming up and they know it, right? Suddenly that morning, they'll have some sort of crisis and they'll try to interfere with you going to that job interview. So the best way to deal with narcissistic parents once you're an adult and out of there is to go low to no contact. And if you have to have contact with them, you gray rock them. And if you're talking to them, you give them nothing. You do not tell them everything. This is the thing, is that we tend to overshare. So they've trained us to overshare because they need to know everything in order to stay in control and keep everybody under their thumb. So what we have to do when we are dealing with narcissistic parents is we have to learn to stop oversharing. Stop telling them everything. Doesn't necessarily mean you need to lie, but you do need to be very selective in what you share with them. And you need to not give them any sort of narcissistic supply. So it's really, really important to decide what you're willing and not willing to share. You know, it's like ahead of time. It's like there's something that's important to you. Do not share it with them because they will try to ruin it. They will try to piss on your gate. Seriously. They will try to piss on your campfire. They will try to ruin it. They will try to take the joy away from it. So it sucks because it's kind of lying by omission a lot of times with them. However, it's a boundary issue. It's staying safe. Honestly, if the parents are narcissistic and you're having to lie to them the whole time, I would go no contact. That would be me. That is an option. If you feel like you cannot do no contact, then you need to go low contact, and you need to do gray rock, and you need to do very selective sharing. Hey, how about them Dodgers? I mean, you keep it literally that light and fluffy, nothing serious. So do watch the videos I've done in the past on narcissistic parents and protect yourself. And the thing of it is yeah, they do force us into kind of a morally ambiguous situation wherein we do have to kind of lie to them to keep them at bay. And what I would say is if you are being forced into that morally ambiguous situation, then take yourself out of that morally ambiguous situation and go no contact. Keep your integrity. So that's my advice on that one. Okay. Why are some people addicted to crime shows or tragic news events? Is this a narc thing? It can be, but not necessarily. So remember, when we've been raised by abusers, we are addicted to chaos. We are addicted to drama. We are addicted to upset and, turmoil and, things like that. So some people turn to crime shows and tragic news and get all wrapped up in the drama and all of that because it feels familiar. So it's not always a narc thing, but it could be a result of having been raised in chaos. I can't watch crime shows. I can't watch, I don't watch the news. I limit my news intake to once a day, reading it, so that way I can pick what I want to read and what I don't, and that way I'm not bombarded with all of those triggers, which, by the way, that is going to be the show on Sunday. I am going to discuss triggers and what to do when you are triggered. Also, how to help somebody else if they're being triggered. So I'm going to talk more a little bit more about triggers, PTSD, etc. So, but yeah, so how do I explain this? You know, I've gotten to the point where drama belongs on the stage. I can't stand unnecessary drama. I can't. And then sometimes people are like, oh, you got to watch this show, or oh, you got to watch that show. And I'm like, no, because I will be analyzing them the whole time and or throwing things at the television. So no, thank you. So it tends to be people who are needing that chaos, needing that drama, needing that type of thing, that are attracted to tragic news events, crime shows, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it could be because they're processing through their childhood. It could be because they're processing through their chaos and upset. So it may not be a narc thing. I hope that answered the question. If not, let me know. Just, I am me. All right. Should kleptomania be considered a deal breaker? Yes, absolutely. Considering it is not intentional, yes, it is, and more of an impulse control disorder. Okay, so guess what? If it's an impulse control disorder, it can be worked on. If they're not working on it, be done. This is impulse control can be worked on. Okay, it can be worked on. So don't fool yourself that, oh, this is, not any big deal. They can't help it, blah, 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 bullshit. If they have kleptomaniac and they are still doing it and they are not seeking help for it, then be done. Okay, so yes. All right, how do I deal with a kleptomaniac without shaming him or her? You just stick to the facts. You've got a problem. Here's the deal. Here's what can help you. DBT. Do you see where I'm going with that? Work on it. This needs to be fixed. And if they don't, they're telling you that they don't want to grow, that they don't want to change. And in which case, be done. You cannot save them. If you're trying to save them, then you need to work on The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker, boundaries, list of deal breakers. So here's the number one thing I see abusers do is that they switch the topic. They flip the script and they go, you're shaming me because you're bringing up something I'm doing. Alcoholics are known for that. You bring up their drinking and suddenly you're judgmental, you're shaming me, you're doing you guns, right? As opposed to, damn, maybe drinking 7 or 8 beers a night isn't a good thing. Do you see where I'm going with that? So it's the same thing with kleptomania. They'll say that you're shaming them by bringing up the problem. I'm sorry, but there's a pink elephant taking a shit in the corner of the living room and I'm not going to ignore it. There it is. I'm also not going to invite it in for breakfast, but do you see where I'm going? It's like, you got to acknowledge it. You've got to, it's like, look, this is what it is. This needs to be worked on. Here's some treatment options. Go fix yourself, and if they refuse to, then it's go fuck yourself. Do you see where I'm going? It's like, don't put up with that shit. And don't put up with the whole, oh, it can't be fixed. It's an input. It can be fixed. Don't you even buy that bullshit. Okay. All right, there that is. Okay. All of my partner's family sends me duplicate messages of everything they send to him and act as though they're talking to me. Weird, right? No other text messages sent to just me. Any advice? Well, you could ask them to stop doing that. You could invite them out to coffee and ask them WTF. It depends. If they're abusers or if they're dysfunctional, then don't even bother. If they are just maybe socially awkward, invite them to coffee, figure out why this is happening, ask. It's like, hey, you don't need to CC me on everything you send to him. You just don't, So you could do that. If they get squirrely or weird or start becoming nasty, snarky, whatever, then you know what you're dealing with. So yeah, that is strange. That is strange. So you could invite him out for coffee and just talk to him. It's like, how come I'm being CC'd on everything you're sending to him? I don't need to know what you guys are talking about, But if they're abusive, if there's any sort of abuse, disorder, etc., then you're going to want to be careful and talk to your partner too. Is this something that his family has always done? Is this what's going on? So open communication would be a good idea. All right, how to get my dad out of senior living with my little narc sister being listed as the power of attorney. Okay, you're gonna have to get an attorney. You're gonna have to get an attorney. You are. So There's no other way to do that. If she is listed as the power of attorney, your dad has the ability to unlist her as the power of attorney unless he's been declared mentally deficient in some way. So I would go speak to a family attorney about that, family law, and see what you can do. I would talk to your dad about that. Yeah, so talk to an attorney. That would be the best suggestion I would have. Started therapy, and I feel like it helps, but thoughts of self-harming and issues with binge eating is back. Advice for calming self between counseling sessions and how to keep going without breakdown. So it's really important to have a support system. It's really important to have either a support group or trusted family, trusted friends that you can call to help talk you off the ledge. So if there is binge eating issues, I would strongly suggest joining Overeaters Anonymous. It's kind of like AA, except it's OA. So, you know, and you would have support. You would have a mentor, you know, that type of thing. So do that. Get support. Get support. Since this is an issue, get support. As far as the thoughts of self-harm, that is when self-soothing is going to be really, really, really important, and self-esteem. Why? People who love themselves do not harm themselves in any way, shape, or form. So it's really important to practice positive self-regard on a daily basis. Daily, guys. I still do it. When I wake up in the morning and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm brushing my teeth, I'm doing positive affirmations. I've been doing this for years. I'm going to do this until the day I drop dead, and probably beyond. So do you see where I'm going with that? So you got to do it daily. And it's important to confront the internal critic, you know, that negative, nasty piece of crap that goes, meh, meh, you're not good enough, meh, 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 what if, meh, meh, you know. And you're basically going to have to be like, thank you for your input, shut the fuck up. Why? Because I say so, you say so, I say so. I am good enough. I am worthy of self-love. I am worthy of living in the moment and not the future. Thanks for playing. Fuck off. Why? Because I say so. Do you see where I'm going with that? So that needs to be a daily thing. That needs to be not just a once in a while, not until I feel good. It needs to be a daily thing. It's like a good habit to get into, if that makes any sort of sense. So that's how you calm yourself. Meditation is wonderful. So one of my clients, I love this, one of my clients actually started meditating and discovered Tibetan meditation bowls. You know, you ding, and then you rub the bowl with the little gong thingy, and that helps. So look at ways to meditate. And meditation doesn't always mean twisting yourself into a pretzel and going, I mean, it can just be a quiet time that you take for yourself where you remind yourself of who you really are. Child of the universe, beautiful, light. You know, I am worthy of love. I am worthy of my own self-love. I am worthy of my own self-compassion. You can also do the Tonglen Metta meditation, or the metta prayer, which is, may I have peace, may I have freedom from suffering, may I have all that I need, food, shelter, companionship, may I have peace. And you do that until that feels comfortable, and then you move on to somebody you don't even know. May my grocery deliverer have peace, may they have all that they need, may they have freedom from suffering, may they have food, shelter, companionship, may they have peace. And then you move on to somebody you really fucking hate. And then you do that for them too. You know, it's just a lovely way to start the morning, because it's kind of like, oh, love is the highest power. Okay, cool. You know, and it also helps us let go. It helps us detach. Because when we hang on to anger and resentment, it's like hanging on to two hot coals, intending to throw it at somebody else, and all it does is burn us. Great, then the enemy wins. Fuck the enemy. Let's do it with love. May they have peace. May they have freedom from suffering. May they have all that they need. Food, shelter, companionship. May they have peace. You know, let them go. Let them go with love. So that is one way to get through between counseling sessions. Journaling is huge. Writing and burning, writing and burning, writing and burning. You know, getting it out of your head, getting it onto paper, reading it out loud, because it kind of helps us process. You know, and then burning it, letting it go. That's another way to start detaching, is letting stuff go. So the self-harm stuff is really important to bring it back to, you are worthy of love. You are worthy of your own love, your own time, your own attention. You are worthy of your own space. You are worthy of your own being. It's good that you're here. And remind yourself of that. And that's why the positive affirmations are really important. Hi, good to see you. Good to see you. Have a wonderful day. I give you permission to like yourself. And then walk out. Every morning in the mirror, do it. Trust me on that. I know it sounds stupid, and it sounds like, what was it, Stuart Smalley in Saturday Night Live? I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. It's kind of that, and the reason they made fun of it is because it fucking works. So do it. That would be my suggestion. So do reach out for support, especially with the binge eating. The Overeaters Anonymous is a great idea. I would also reach out to trusted keywords. Trusted family and friends, not ones you don't trust. You need to reach out to people you actually trust. Find support between sessions. I think that would be huge. So do the meditation, look into the Tibetan, meditation bowls, look into soothing music that you can put on. There's a station on YouTube, I think it's called Woke Nation, and they have like these beautiful, serene, beaches and mountains and, images going by, and this really very calming music. And that's great to meditate to. I love that. So do that and remind yourself you're worthy. You are worthy of your own time, your own love, and your own attention. So huge. So work on positive affirmations, work on the good morning, good to see you, have a great day, I give you permission to like yourself, and then walk out. So it's reparenting yourself. It's reprogramming those negative thoughts to be positive. Challenge every single negative thought. Anytime the negative thought wants you to hurt yourself, it's a bully. It's a bully. You treat it like a bully. Hell no, bitch. I'm not going to hurt myself for you. Fuck off. Do you see where I'm going with that? And then why? Because I say so. I have the power. You don't. Do it. It's awesome. It's great to take your power back. It feels really good. So give that a shot. Let me know how that's going. So do that for a week. Let me know how that's going. Okay? All right. There that is. Okay. Blended family with kids. His biological daughter is treated way over the top by him, and my biological son like shit. Ooh, that is a huge red flag. So when somebody takes on a romantic partner and they've got children, you are also taking on those children. Now, you are not the new parent, right? But you have to understand that those kids need to be loved as if they were your own. And if somebody is not doing it, that is a huge red flag. So you may want to suggest family counseling with him. If he refuses, there's your sign. The people who refuse counseling generally have a disorder because they know something's wrong and they don't want to be called out on it. So there that is. So don't allow it. Don't allow it. Absolutely. This is a deal breaker. This is an absolute deal breaker. Do not allow it. So I would suggest family counseling. And if this person refuses, then Houston, you got a bigger problem. Okay, is paranoid ideation a red flag? My ex was constantly thinking that I was cheating on him. He even, quote unquote, saw my lover on the train. I have never cheated on him or anyone else for that matter. So, yes. Why? Because narcissists do that. Narcissists project what they are thinking, they are doing, or they are planning on doing onto their target, okay? So, for example, they will claim that you're cheating on them and you're seeing your lover and blah, 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 when in reality, they're the ones that are cheating, or they're the ones that are thinking about cheating, and they're projecting all of their shame onto you. Yes, that is a ginormous red flag. So, yeah, absolutely. Okay, question. I had a terrible relationship with my narc sister, and when my dad realized she was a narc and defended me from her abuse, she went no contact with him. Now I feel guilty that she hurt him. Okay, not your problem. Not your problem. Your parents should have been defending you against the narcissist in the whole time, okay? I talked about that 2 weeks ago with the siblings talk that I did. So, guilt. Let's talk about guilt. You have nothing to feel guilty about. Nothing. Your dad's an adult. I'm assuming your sister is an adult. So this is between them. Good for him for defending you. Good for him for defending you. And if she chooses to stop talking to him, that's on her. So I would suggest that your dad read books on narcissistic personality disorder, like The Object of My Affection is in My Reflection, Coping with a Narcissist by Raquel Lerner, so that he understands. You know, it's like when you defend the innocent, the narcissists get really pissed off because you're not playing their narrative. So yeah, don't feel guilty, babes. You got nothing to feel guilty about. So when you do feel guilty, remember, fear, obligation, and guilt. So it's not your problem. It's part of codependency. It's part of the fog. So I would suggest reading The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker, or Codependent No More by Melanie Beattie, or PM Melody did some too. Damn, can't think of the titles. I need to look those up. Anyway, PM Melody is another good one. So yeah, so don't feel guilty. You have no reason to feel guilty. I would write a go fuck you letter to the guilt. Dear guilt, fuck the fuckity fuck out of fucking fuck you. I'm not playing this game anymore. I do not need to feel guilty. Whatever my sister does is on her. She cuts dad off, that's on her. Not my problem. Thank you, dad, for defending me. It's about fucking time. Do you see where I'm going with that? So yeah. Okay. Question. I now see the difference between abusers and the people who stay human and polite. I couldn't tell the difference before. Is there a lot of people who are human and not abusing / flying monkeys? Yes, there are. There really truly are a lot of good people out there. Think of it this way. When we are raised by narcissists and abusers, you know, abusers of any kind, whether they're malignant, borderline, malignant, narcissist, etc., we don't know the difference between disrespect and respect. So that's kind of what I talked about on Sunday. It's like getting specific with the deal breakers so people understand what disrespect is, because disrespect had been normalized for us. So when we come out of that kind of family relationship, we are attracted to, if we do not work on our original family wound, if we do not work on mom and dad and all of the abuse that we suffered with them, we will, inner children, will look outside and go, oh, look, subconsciously, oh, look, somebody who reminds me of mom or dad. Well, if I can make that person love me, I prove these assholes wrong. Half of a shit sandwich, half of a shit sandwich, total shit sandwich. So we tend to subconsciously attract that to us in an effort to heal this. This is why we've got to become conscious, confront the abuse head on, deal with this, heal these little guys inside of us so that we don't keep picking people out here that remind us of this and keep trying to fix this. We've got to fix this head on, which means we recognize that the abuse belongs to them, the shame belongs to them, the anger belongs to them, and fuck them sideways with an unlubricated baseball bat. We're done. I deserve better. And then we start working on self-esteem, self-love, inner child, boundaries, the disease to please, codependent no more. And as we raise our level of self-esteem, we start attracting like-minded people. When we're unconscious and running into walls, guess what? We're attracting unconscious, running into walls people. As we become conscious and work on self-esteem, boundaries, self-love, self-compassion, disease to please, all of that, we raise our level of self-awareness, and we no longer start putting up with unconscious running into walls people. So it's a process. It's a process. And you got to clean out that friend closet. And this is what I've been talking to my clients about all week this week. It's like you got to clean out that friend closet in order to make room for the healthier people. And you can tell who's a healthy friend and who's not by the respect level. How many deal breakers have they broken? So that's why deal breakers are important. So go watch the video I did on Sunday. Write down your list of deal breakers. Don't put up with abuse from anybody. Don't put up with disrespect from anybody. Okay? Yes, there are a lot of good people out there. There are. And you will meet them as you work on your self-esteem. They are out there. Okay. Is it normal to behave like a narcissist if you aren't one? I often catch myself calling names the narc did while he is all calm, yet somehow managed to push my buttons. Makes me question myself. Yes. So it's called picking up fleas. It's picking, when you lay down with dogs, you pick up fleas. It's an old saying. So when we are in the presence of abuse, we start adopting their behaviors, like in order to defend ourselves against them. Again, it's kind of like the whole Johnny Depp, Amber, what's her name thing, where, you know, everybody thought Depp was the abuser, but it turns out that Amber was abusing the crap out of him, and then he just responded because he'd gotten tired of being abused. So Yeah, it's called picking up fleas. And we pick up the raging, we pick up the name calling, we pick up the gaslighting, the lying, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we start losing ourselves. And that is intentional. They want that. They want to turn a good, kind, decent human being into the piece of shit that they are so that they can feel better about themselves. That's what they want. That's why they can't stand anybody who's different. They can't stand differing opinions. They can't handle somebody not thinking exactly the way that they think. And they love to poke the bear, 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 poke the bear. Then you blow up and they're cool as a cucumber because they're sitting back with the popcorn watching this, enjoying every second of it with that little, smirk on their face. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and we pick up those behaviors. The longer you're with them, the more fleas you're going to have. If you are still with your abuser, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. If you're starting to turn into them, get the fuck out. Save yourself. There is no helping them. There is no hope for them. Because we constantly, when we're dealing with an abuser and we're like, oh, but I can change them. Oh, but I can help them. Oh, but they have those moments of being good. That's called intermittent positive rewards, which is how we get addicted to it because we start living for the moments when they're good. And that causes us to live in the hell of hope, despair, hope, despair, hope, despair. It's the same coin, flip side. So there is no hope for them. There is only despair. There is only despair. They will never grow. They will never change. They will never have that epiphany moment where they're like, oh my God, I've been a fucking asshole. I need to change my life. No, it's not going to happen. There is no God machine that's going to come down and whap them on the head with an enlightenment stick. It's not going to happen. I wish it would. It would be lovely to see. I'd pay money to see that, but it's not going to happen. So you want to get out, because if you're picking up those behaviors and this person is pushing your buttons and they're clearly a narcissist, you're worth more than that. Get out. Save yourself. Okay. My ex used to tell me that I was very judgmental because I really disliked his daily drinking habits. Funny, I think I talked about that earlier. 5 beers a day or more and hiding alcohol. Was I being too hard on him? No, you were pointing out the truth. And just like I said about the crime shows, when you're dealing with an addict, when you're dealing with somebody who is in the throes of addiction, they will defend their poor behavior and their alcohol or their drug of choice because you're threatening it by pointing out the truth. So they flip the script and, oh, you're judgmental and you're this and you're that. I'm sorry, that is the definition of alcoholism. That is the definition of alcoholism. So hiding alcohol, definition of alcoholism. 5 or more drinks a night, alcoholism. There you go. It's the truth. You cannot help him. You cannot change them. I'm sorry. It's just not. And you were not being too hard on him. Abso-fucking-lutely not. You were speaking the truth. And alcoholics do not like the truth. Drug addicts do not like the truth. They don't. Because they're more interested in protecting their ego and protecting their drug of choice than they are in getting better. So no, you were not too hard on them. And I hope you can hear and see that. So you may want to read up on addiction. You may want to read up on how addicts behave. They've got a whole list of behaviors very similar to narcissism, extremely similar to narcissism. So, and realize that you were telling the truth and they didn't like it. The truth was pissing them the fuck off, and they weren't even going to let it set them free because they were flipping the script and making it about you. So there that is. My narc dad passed away 4 months ago, and I have been no contact, feeling numb. My sister has been guilting me into speaking with my mother, who I am also no contact with. I am feeling guilty. How do I deal? You have nothing to feel guilty about. If people wanted you to be around them, they probably should not have acted like asshats. Yeah. You have nothing to feel guilty about. Stay no contact. If this person was nasty when your dad was alive, they're probably going to be nasty now that your dad's dead. As far as your sister is concerned, you're going to have to draw strong boundaries. Thank you. I understand you want me to have contact with mom, and the answer to that is a resounding no. Please respect my boundaries. And if you don't, I'm going to go no contact with you too. You're just going to have to draw boundaries, hon. I'm so sorry. I would get with a really good trauma therapist, and I would strengthen your boundaries. I would work on self-esteem. I would work on journaling, writing and burning letters to the dad that died. I would work on writing and burning letters to your sister. Don't send them. But do draw strong boundaries and let her know in no uncertain terms. I am not going to feel guilty. You need to knock it the fuck off, because otherwise I'm going no contact with you too. Respect my goddamn boundaries. I feel like Cartman. Respect my authority. You know, it's like, respect my boundary. Do not cross that boundary. This is a deal breaker trying to make me feel guilty. Fuck off. Not doing it. Respect this boundary or you too will be out of my life. Period. So that's what you're going to have to do. Okay. So remember, guilt is what is used by abusers to make us toe the line. So, all right. So that's all the questions. So what I'm going to do on Sunday is I want to talk about triggers. I want to talk about what a trigger is, how we can deal with it, how we can help other people that are being triggered, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because we're going to have that with post-traumatic stress disorder, especially complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So triggers is going to be the topic on Sunday. All right, kids, have a great week, and I will talk to you on Sunday. Bye.